If cooking makes you anxious, it's probably not because you're incapable of doing it. Most people who feel this way either had a bad experience in the kitchen or they're still believing some pretty common misconceptions about cooking. I just finished a 90-day cooking challenge and oh boy, that was one of the hardest things I've had to do because I posted every single day for 90 days despite a really busy schedule like school, work, and all that stuff. But it was not in vain because people were commenting that the videos were helpful, they felt seen. So I'm really glad about that. If you haven't seen it, I'll link a playlist here. You can go watch it after this video, of course. But today, I want to walk you through 3 misconceptions about cooking that you need to let go of as a beginner in the kitchen, especially if you feel overwhelmed or you think you can't cook. So let's get into it. Misconception number 1: good cooks don't make mistakes. I used to think that making mistakes in the kitchen was proof that I can't cook. I used to compare myself a lot to other people who looked like they had it easy in the kitchen. I grew up in Haiti where the food is absolutely delicious. People learn that at home most of the times. Most recipes are passed down in the kitchen, and the majority of the people that I grew up around were raised in the rural side of Haiti where people learned how to cook at a really young age. These people had a lot of experience cooking already, and I was comparing myself to them. So I was doomed from the start. You know the saying, don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 20? I could not agree with that more. That person didn't start at chapter 20. You might look at where they are today and think, oh, I wish I was there. I wish I could cook as well as you do. But you have to remember that they also started from zero. They just did way earlier than you. When I first started cooking, I used to burn food a lot, under or over season, overcook or undercook. I used to make rice and the rice was always really mushy, and some of the meals I've made, I wish I took more pictures when I first started because I wish I could show you where I started. I felt discouraged, I felt embarrassed, I didn't want other people to taste my food or even look at it sometimes. But the thing is, I still showed up, I still tried, I kept going, and over time, I just got better. And if you know my story, I used to avoid the kitchen altogether because I did not want to be there. I was scared of messing up. I was scared of hurting myself. I was scared of making a meal and having people laugh at me or make fun of me, or I don't know, just straight up telling me that it's horrible and to never cook ever again. Yeah, but at some point, I think I just got tired of my fear holding me back. I got tired of spending too much money on takeout on a weekly basis. Now I still get takeout, but I am more in control of what I'm eating. I meal prep once a week, and I get takeout when I don't know, go out with my friends or I just want something. I get it. It's not just about getting it to feed my body so I don't die. Now it's more like getting it because I want something different or I enjoy the food from this place or something like that. It's not from a need-based perspective anymore. It's more like a want. The more I cooked, the more I started reframing mistakes as learning opportunities instead of failure, because every mistake taught me something specific. For example, when I was making rice on the stove, I'm using rice as an example because for a while rice was my arch nemesis, but every time I would make it, I would try something different, and if it worked, awesome. But if it didn't work, I knew, okay, we're not gonna do that next time. So the more I practiced, the better I got. It's with everything in life, like learning a new language, playing a sport. The more you practice, the better you get. It's as simple as that. You become familiar with something the more you do it. And cooking is no exception. I want you to know that you're not bad at cooking. You just haven't had enough repetition to see that you can be good at it. You are a human being. You are allowed to make mistakes. The catch, though, is that you have to learn from those mistakes in order to move forward, in order to be better. Misconception number 2. Good cooks need fancy tools. There was a time where I thought that the more gadgets I buy, the more confident I'm gonna become. And I felt behind because I didn't have everything. What actually helped me was using the same tools over and over and getting comfortable with them, getting used to them. I learned how to control heat, timing. I learned how to season my food better. I didn't have a fancy kitchen. I still don't have a fancy kitchen. But the thing is, fewer options actually lowered the anxiety around cooking. Because sometimes having too many options can feel overwhelming. When you keep things simple, life is simple. I don't know how else to say that. So I kept it simple and it worked. Tools don't create confidence. Familiarity does. You don't need upgrades to start. That's why they are upgrades. You get them later. Knowing your basics and exactly how to use them is way more important than buying new tools every single week. I need you to get it into your head that more tools will not make you less anxious. So start with what you have and you can get whatever else you want later. However, don't let the idea of not having everything now prevent you from getting started altogether. It's okay to buy more stuff to make your life easier later, but if you don't know how to use what you have now, getting more things is just gonna make you more overwhelmed. You're just gonna clutter your house and still feel bad that you're not where you want to be. All right, misconception number 3. Good cooks are naturally talented. I used to think that some people are just built for cooking and that I wasn't. I mentioned it earlier. I used to compare myself to confident cooks online, in person, you name it. And I used to feel really bad for not knowing how to cook. I used to feel ashamed when there was a party and everyone's cooking and I can't contribute anything because I am convinced that I'm gonna mess it up and that everybody's gonna hate it. Obviously, I would help with some things sometimes, but I never made like a full meal. So I got tired of that and I said, enough is enough. That needs to change because I can't be scared of cooking my whole life. Something needs to change. When I started cooking, I realized that the people that are good at it, they've just been doing it longer. And they've just made enough mistakes to know what not to do anymore. Repetition removes fear over time. Because when something is predictable, it reduces anxiety in you. Obviously, some people just have a natural talent for certain things. But I also think that talent in the kitchen also comes from familiarity stacked over time. The more you cook, the less scary it becomes. And confidence comes from doing more, not wishing that you could do more. What these misconceptions are really doing is creating pressure, shame, and holding you back from doing something that could actually be really good for you. I made a video about 10 reasons why learning to cook is a brilliant idea. I'll link it somewhere up here so you can watch that. But you need to let go of these misconceptions about cooking, because if it's something you want to do and you are letting them hold you back from doing it, you are actually missing out on so much. You could be saving more money on food. You could be having more control over your diet. You could be connecting with other people through cooking. Like there are so many reasons why learning to cook your own meals is a good idea. If you don't want to cook, like you're someone you prefer outsourcing that, if that's what you want to do, go for it. I'm talking to the person who is too anxious to cook and letting that fear hold them back from getting started. If that's you, I'm talking to you. You don't need perfection. You don't need fancy tools. You don't need talent. What you need is a simple and straightforward starting point. And that's exactly what I tell you in this video right here. It's a simple step-by-step guide on exactly how to start cooking when you have no idea where to begin. So, I'll see you there. Bye for now.